So, what is it to be a woman and a Zen master? What is it to be a Western woman and a Zen master? There's been discussion about this for a number of years now. Somebody I saw very much up close and personal working with this was somebody I wanted to tell you about, Reverend Master Mafanui Makori, who died very suddenly July the 2nd last year, 2020. She was Scottish. She'd had a kind of a working class background. Her father was a miner. She'd gone to art school. She lived very creatively and had a very interesting early life. She'd worked as a shepherd. She'd lived in alternative communities. She'd explored a lot. She was a monk for 37 years, lived the Zen life, 24 hours a day for 37 years. Over the time that I knew her, we were living in the same place for over a decade. And during that time, she was never very well. She was always struggling with health issues. Nevertheless, she very much fully engaged in the life and very, very much contributed and very much made sure that the female voice, the feminist voice, was really heard. Now, for probably 2 or maybe 2.5 years, towards the end of my time at Throstle Hole Abbey, I was looking after some meditation groups in Cornwall, Devon, South Wales, that whole southwestern corner of the UK. And so I'd be down there basically on a sort of a teaching tour for about a month at a go, maybe 3-4 times a year, building something up. And it was a lot of fun. It was a little bit of a challenge, always very short on money. The person in charge of the finances at Throstle, I don't think approved, and so would only ever give me my train fare down there and back, and any money that I needed to get from place to place, to get from Cardiff to Cornwall or what have you, I had to somehow work out along the way. So that sort of put things in interesting situations at times. But anyway, it always worked out. But anyway, after a couple of years or so, that had built up, to some degree, quite well, I suppose. Reverend Master Mafanui took over from me down there and eventually founded a temple, Dragon Bell Temple. And she lived and taught down there in the West Country for a number of years. So that was a nice kind of link and connection. Now, I remember a particular incident when I was quite new in the monastery. As I say, she had ongoing health problems. And she had a medical appointment, and at the time I don't think she could drive, so I had to drive her over to the doctor's. It was in the middle of winter. We had an old Land Rover, and the old style Land Rovers, as you probably know, are extraordinarily noisy. The vibration was enough that by the time you got out of it after a journey, you felt like your organs had been rearranged. And also, they handled really badly in wet and snow. I don't know why they've become such an iconic vehicle. They're actually not that easy to deal with. So anyway, I was taking her over to the doctor's. We had a fresh, fairly heavy snowfall, according to what I can remember. There were 2 ways. There was a kind of a shorter way, which involved going up and over the moors, over the fells, which are kind of really open, quite exposed, quite wind-blown spaces. I mean, spectacular. You get a view of probably 8 or 10 miles in any direction when you're up there. Or there was a lower road, which had more trees, It was longer, but there was a little bit more protection. So she was in charge. We were going to go on the upper road. So up we go, and the road is pretty bad. There's a lot of wind. The Land Rover is slipping about all over the place. What I don't want to do is get stuck up there with somebody who's not very well. It's a long walk out. I can't remember if the road had been ploughed or gritted at that point. Possibly not. So anyway, we're slipping around, and I just kind of pull it to a stop for a bit. She turns, sitting next to me, looks at me with these blue piercing eyes and says, well, are you going to go forwards or are you going to go sideways? And off we went. And we mostly went forwards. And this became a little sort of motto or mantra for me going through life, actually. Are you going to go forwards or are you going to go sideways? And I think that was a little, perhaps even unconscious gift that she left for me. Now, she was apparently teaching one night down there in Devon about Zen Master Dogen. And literally the next morning she was found, she died. Very, very sudden, very unexpected. Although, as I say, long-term health issues, but nevertheless, bit of a surprise. And she's going to be missed, I'm sure, by many people. She had a very particular and very distinctive kind of gift for the world. Despite all those health issues, she founded a temple and caused it to grow and flourish. And that's an achievement. That's really an achievement. So, remembering Reverend Master Mafanui.